Hey pretties, good morning. Welcome to Tuesday's Coffee Chat. Today's topic is actually a piggyback on yesterday's, where I talked about how I needed to hit the reset button after a really unhealthy weekend. If you missed that one, you can go back and watch it on Facebook. But I can kind of recap it. We had a really busy weekend. I got completely off schedule, didn't do my grocery shopping, meal planning, any of that stuff. And I ate garbage all weekend. So when yesterday rolled around, I knew that I needed to kind of hit the reset button and start making some healthy decisions again. And one of the big takeaways from yesterday's coffee chat was that you don't need to wait until sometime in the future to make changes. Like if you have been on an unhealthy kick or you haven't exercised in a while, there's no need to say, I'm going to put this off until tomorrow, or I'm going to wait until spring or anything like that. You can start right now today. And I heard from a few of you who decided to do that yesterday. So I was super proud of you, very excited. A few of you said that you were going to wait until tomorrow or next Monday or whatever, but you decided to make the commitment and make the changes yesterday. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. Yesterday, I spent the whole day getting caught up on work. But in addition to that, I did my grocery shopping. I did my meal planning. I made an instant pot of chicken chili last night, so we have leftovers for lunches this week. And I'm going to talk to you today about what I actually eat in a day whenever I'm being healthy. I did get quite a few questions about that yesterday. And also just kind of talk to you about a little more about goals, because I think, you know, the overriding theme in all of this is that we have these goals that we want to accomplish, right? Like we want to live a healthy lifestyle and we want to live a long life. We want to have energy and all of these good things and be disease-free and be active and keep up with our kids and all this good stuff, right? But what we don't realize is that the little decisions that we make in each moment are what actually lead to the longer term goals that we're accomplishing, right? So again, like the power is in the present moment of making the changes now and planning, and really just planning things out is key for me personally. If I'm not in my groove on the weekends, and actually this is horse show season, so I'm not going to be in my groove a lot of weekends. Next weekend is going to be completely off again. So just having this routine to fall back into makes my life so much easier. And you're going to see whenever I share with you what I eat in a day that it's very similar. So I like to look at my meal planning sort of the same way I approach the style challenge and getting dressed on a daily basis. There's a lot of repetition. You'll see a lot of the things on my list that recur, but having that repetition there and having those formulas for eating and for getting dressed are keys to simplifying my life and cutting down on decision fatigue, because I think we all face that. Like we get so overwhelmed with decisions sometimes, even as something as basic as what to eat, that you know, it wears on us. It eats up our bandwidth. And having one less thing to worry about, quite honestly, is such a gift, a gift to busy moms, a gift to all women that we need to give ourselves. So that's what I look at this as. This is a gift to me. This is a gift to my family whenever I'm able to prepare our meals and really just plan things out for the week ahead. So I'm going to cover, you know, what I eat, what I shop for, and how I do my meal planning and prep. And maybe you will pick up some tips that are going to make your life easier too. And I titled this on Facebook, What I Eat in a Day When I'm Trying to Be Healthy, but the subtitle should have been When I'm Not Being a Garbage Disposal, because that's what I feel like lately. I do have these moments, and it's nice to have this routine to fall back into. So anyway, I do a lot of my prep work on the weekends. I try to do grocery shopping Saturday mornings, and then on Sunday afternoons after we get back from church, we usually go to lunch, and I have a few hours of time where I can focus on prepping some things. So some of my Sunday prep involves chopping veggies and having them in bite-sized chunks so they're easy to throw into scrambled eggs or salads or whatever I'm going to use them for in the week ahead. Something else that I like to do on Sundays is make a sheet pan meal and split those up into containers for the week ahead. I did share one of my recipes for sheet pan dinners on Instagram TV, so you can check out IGTV if you're following me on Instagram to get that recipe. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute whenever we get to the lunch portion of this. But yeah, just spending my Sunday afternoons prepping, usually Sunday evening. We stay and watch football, and I make something in the crock pot, or the Instant Pot now. I'm transitioning over. You guys know that I had mixed feelings about the Instant Pot. Craig got me one for our anniversary, which I was kind of like, oh, okay. What kind of gift is this? But I love it now, and it's been great. I mean, like yesterday I threw a bag of frozen chicken breasts in, and I did white chicken chili. So some cumin, onion, garlic, a can of green chilies, and some cannellini beans and chicken broth. And in about an hour, we had amazing, delicious chicken chili with the chicken just literally falling apart in it. It was so good. So I am a convert on Instant Pot now. I'm looking for more recipes. So if you guys have any to share, then please let me know. I'm looking forward to trying out some more. But anyway, that's what we usually do on Sundays. And then throughout the week, it's super easy for me to reach for the healthy choices that are already in the fridge. And I get so busy during the day that it's hard for me to just have like a hard stop and say, I'm going to eat lunch, I'm going to prep lunch. But with this method in place, I don't have to worry about that because it's already there. All right, so let's start out with breakfast. My breakfast every day is pretty much the same. I'm so boring. I have 2 scrambled eggs, which I'm fine. My cholesterol's good, and I get it checked every year. And you're usually good with 2 eggs per day. And I make a veggie scramble with those eggs. So some mornings I throw in a handful of red bell pepper and spinach. Some mornings I slice tomatoes and avocados and put them on the side, and drizzle a little bit of olive oil on them. Sometimes I take my eggs when I'm doing meal prep on Sundays, and I'll mix them up with the veggies and do muffin cups and just put them in a muffin tin and bake them with a little tiny bit of shredded cheese on the top of them, and then pull out the little muffins and heat them on a daily basis, which is super easy and tasty. And then I can put a side of either sliced tomatoes or fruit or something like that with them. But I have to front load my day with protein. I don't do really well with carbs. My body metabolizes protein so much better than carbs for some reason. I get spikes in my sugar levels, and I have had bouts with like hypoglycemia and things like that throughout my life. So I know what I have to eat in a day to keep things on an even keel. So that's what I usually start my day with. If you're not an egg person, totally get it. A lot of people are not. You can do this with oatmeal or some kind of like steel cut oats or something like that. You can make overnight oats and a crock pot and have those to dish out on a daily basis, and do lots of add-ins with your oatmeal, like sliced apples, bananas, berries, walnuts, cinnamon. There are all kinds of things that you can top your oatmeal with to give it good flavor too. So, but having this staple that you start out with and then some add-ons to keep it interesting and mix it up every day really helps. And you can kind of get into a groove with your breakfast that way and eat healthy and start the day out on the right note. All right, so next up is lunch. In the summer months, I usually have a big salad with lean protein. So on Sundays, instead of doing my sheet pan meals or something like that, I would take a couple pounds of chicken breast and throw it on the grill, marinate it, and chop it up. And Craig and I usually tackle these things together because we eat the same lunches. He works from home too most days, so we have the same lunches, and it makes it super easy if we tag team this on the weekend. And I will prep the meats, and then he'll grill them and then bring them in and chop them up and put them in containers. But yeah, I can pull out my veggies that I've already pre-cut on Sundays and throw those in. I like to make my own dressings. So, I mean, they're super easy. I just take some either balsamic vinegar or red wine vinegar and some olive oil and something like an emulsifier. Sometimes I add in a little bit of mustard, a little bit of honey, something that helps to give it a little bit of sweetness and take the tang and the edge off the vinegars. But they're super easy to make, and I know what's going into them, and there are no preservatives. And I'll just shake up a bottle of that and put it in the fridge, and we'll use it for a couple of days on our salads. So when I'm not doing the salads, though, in the cooler months, try to do my sheet pan meals on Sundays, and they're so easy. I like to do them with either chicken breast or chicken sausage. But really you can do them with any lean protein and any veggies. So I use a lot of sweet potatoes, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, onions, red bell pepper. And the key to sheet pan dinners is to make sure that everything is the same size when you're chopping up the chunks so that it all cooks evenly at the same time when you put it in the oven. So what I usually do is chop my veggies and my meat, and then I toss it in some olive oil and some herbs and spices. You can switch this up and create endless combinations. I actually have fun with this. I think it's a blast, just like throwing it all together and tossing it up and putting it out on the sheet pan, and then you just let it bake for about 30 to 35 minutes until your meat is cooked all the way through. Pull it out, separate it into containers for the week ahead. If you want to do a whole grain with that, you can. I sometimes make a big pot of quinoa, and I'll separate that out and put it in another container, and then just put a scoop of quinoa on a plate, dump the container onto the plate, microwave it for about 1 minute and 30 seconds, and lunch is served. It is the easiest thing ever. And we have tasty, healthy lunches every day of the week. So that's definitely one of my tricks to getting lunch on the table really quickly. We also, like I mentioned before, do a lot of chili and chicken chili. I like to make healthy chili on the weekends, and I never get sick of it. So I like to eat that as leftovers for lunch throughout the week as well. Dinners vary. We usually have a lean protein, and I definitely eat lots of sweet potatoes and broccoli. I love roasted veggies, are my favorite. They have so much flavor. And then we usually do a whole grain on the side when we're being healthy. But I like to take a little bit of liberty with my dinners because I keep my breakfasts and lunches so routine that we like to switch things up for dinner. So I've been doing HelloFresh, which I mentioned to you guys before, ever since Aubrey went off to college, because it's really easy for Craig and I to just get the HelloFresh meals. Ava's a very picky eater, so I generally make her something else. But I've really been enjoying playing around with that. It makes me feel like a chef. I feel like I'm a gourmet cook now. And I'm learning lots of things too. Like I've been able to duplicate some of those recipes without the HelloFresh box. I just keep them in my drawer to refer back to when I'm doing my grocery shopping. But I tend to pick up things like packs of boneless pork chops when they go on sale, like big packs of chicken breasts, and have some meat on hand in the freezer so I know what we're going to be starting our meals with, and then getting the pantry loaded with all of the staples and essentials. And it's pretty easy to pull a meal together if you have that. You have your whole grains in your pantry. Really the only thing you're going to need to buy is your fresh produce on a weekly basis, and then pick up your meat when it's on sale and have it in your freezer ready to go. You can either marinate it and grill it, you can bake it, you can bread it, you can do so many different things with it. But it's really about having those formulas in place for dinners. So on Saturday mornings, I try to think up a few meals or go through my recipe drawer or go online and look up some ideas. And then I see what we have on hand and go to the store and shop for anything that I need to fill in the blanks with. As far as snacking goes, I'm a snacker. I love snacking. I eat string cheese between meals. I do Greek yogurt. Again, my snacks are generally protein based, just to keep my blood sugar really at an even level. Interesting. I did my genetics report to see what runs in my family or what my risks are. And I had like this super high risk of type 1 diabetes, which I'm not type 1 diabetic, but I feel like I'm on the edge, which is really interesting because all my life I've kind of been, like I mentioned, hypoglycemic and trying to keep my levels on an even keel. So it's interesting that I finally saw that on there. I was like, that's pretty interesting. It makes sense now. Sorry, I'm just sharing my random thoughts as I go. Okay, also snacking, I like almonds, like cocoa roasted almonds. Those are so delicious. Dark chocolate. I eat dark chocolate every single day of my life. I have a little bowl of dark chocolate sitting right back there on the counter. Everybody in the family grabs them. I love the dark chocolate with almonds. They're so good. I grab them sometimes on my way to bed at night and just like have wrappers on my nightstand in the morning from my late night chocolate cravings. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I eat in a day. My weekends, I give myself a little bit more freedom. I usually keep my breakfast and lunches pretty static throughout the week. On the weekends, though, every Friday, I've mentioned before, we usually go out for Mexican food. Mexican food is my thing. We get fajitas every Friday night. And then Saturday night, we usually go out to dinner. And then Sunday after church, we go out to lunch. But I try to eat at home on Sunday nights. And really, eating at home is so key to keeping a healthy lifestyle because you have complete control over the ingredients that are going into your meals. But we do love to eat out too. So again, like I mentioned yesterday, do the research in advance. Download MyFitnessPal on your phone. You can look up just about any restaurant and any entree, anything that you're going to eat there. You can plan your meal in advance. So when you get there, you know exactly what you're going to eat. And I'm not saying don't have fun. Definitely have fun. Everything is fine in moderation. I cannot stick to this 100% of the time. I try to shoot for Monday through Friday at lunch, Monday morning through Friday at lunch. I try to stick to this routine. And then Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, I go off and, you know, have a little bit of fun and eat some desserts and enjoy life because, I mean, that's what it's all about. I love food. I live to eat. I don't eat to live. I am one of those people, so I have to have a little bit of fun with eating too. But anyway, I hope you guys learned something new from this, and I would love to hear your tips and tricks, what you do for meal planning and prep, what makes your life easier. This is definitely about us having community and sharing our experiences, so please feel free to leave those in the comments or send me a DM on Instagram and let me know. And thank you guys for tuning in today. I have to say, this morning, I'm kind of super proud of myself for being consistent with these coffee chats, and I have no plans to ever not be consistent with them. This has been a big stretch for me. I have a love-hate relationship with social media, which I will get into on a coffee chat because it's kind of interesting, and I've struggled with being visible in Get Your Pretty On for the past 6 years that I've been doing this. I think it has a lot to do with me being introverted, but these have been so good for me personally. I feel like a lot of growth in this area has happened, and the feedback that you guys have given me has been like, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it. It's made this like the best thing ever. I thoroughly enjoy this time every morning. So thank you guys for tuning in. It makes me really happy whenever I click on Instagram and I see how many people watched in a day, and the number keeps going up a little bit every day. So that's awesome. But thank you guys for the support and for tuning in to the coffee chats. And please keep giving me ideas. I love your ideas. Almost every single coffee chat has come from a question you've asked or a comment you've made or something that you've let me know that you would like to learn about. And again, I'm an open book, so ask the questions because you just might get an answer. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have an awesome day. Bye.